Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
Let's turn now to President Trump's decision to pardon, to give blanket pardons to everyone who was convicted of crimes on January 6th, including the 172 people who pleaded guilty to assaulting law enforcement officers. Even his own vice president said, quote, if you committed violence on that day, obviously you shouldn't be pardoned. Do you believe that President Trump was wrong to issue these blanket pardons to the January 6th
Number one,
defendants?
he had the legal authority to do it, but I fear that you'll get more violence. Pardoning the people who went into the Capitol and beat up a police officer violently, I think was a mistake because it seems to suggest that's an okay thing to do. Kamala Harris wanted to raise bail money for people burning down Minneapolis. You know, Biden pardoned half his family going out the door. I think most Americans, if this continues, to see this as an abuse of the pardon power, that we'll revisit the pardon power of the president if this continues. But as to pardoning violent people who beat up cops, I think that's a mistake.
We were just saying off air, it really is. You're like, oh, it's the longest year ever. I'm like, it's January. We're not even a week in.
Well, who from what torture center invented dry January, by the way?
Right?
I mean, whose
That's
idea?
canceled. It is canceled, by the way.
Yeah, I can't even get through dry Monderary, let alone dry January.
I mean, we all know this is what Steve Bannon meant, right? By flood the zone with it's try to make it so overwhelming that we are just demoralized. But we just can't be. But you wrote that. I have to say, you have got to read JoJo from Jurors this week, because if you think it's you that you're taking crazy pills, you just wrote shock and Orwellian 3 days in. On a scale of 1 to Britney Spears, the United States of America is currently somewhere between head shaving and butcher knife dancing. We look as though we may have used a Sharpie on our waterline during a J.D. Vance smoky eye tutorial sometime last week. Our hair reeks of Kraft Singles, whitefish salad, and cigarette smoke, and we don't know exactly what day it is or what state we're in. That's what it just feels like getting hit by a truck, like a fascist truck.
Every day, it's like, okay, I can.
It's both. Remember Jim Ward used to do, he used to do us crossing the street on PCH,
Oh, yeah.
getting hit by multiple cars.
Uh-huh.
He was a brilliant voice guy. He would just be like, and I'm like, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, totally.
It's Frogger, only you can't even get to that second layer of
Right.
Frogger. You get splat.
Right.
First row of cars, you're done.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Where do we start? You were all over this on Blue Sky. You said the serial sexual abuser who bragged about grabbing a woman by the pussy has already appointed a lifetime Supreme Court seat to a man credibly accused of sexual assault. Now he's appointed a man who's been credibly accused of sexual assault to lead our armed forces. I was thinking, I wonder what Drunky McRapey on the Supreme Court thinks of Drunky McRapey at the Defense Department.
I mean, we'll have to ask, Cokie McPubic hair, also on the Supreme Court.
What he thinks of Drunky McRapey, and also, yeah.
It's a renaissance of rapists is what we're looking at. Yeah.
I know, and people will say, why are you guys laughing? Because we literally have to laugh or we would cry all day, right? I mean, it's bad.
And I cried like most of yesterday. I was like,
yeah.
I woke up and I was just like, it all hit me at once. You know, I was like that one thing, that straw, so to speak, that'll break the camel's back.
Yeah.
It was like the smallest thing. It was like my credit card got hacked and I had to call the bank and the card was late. And I was like, but ma'am,
do you know who's president?
it was over. It was over.
It's true. We just had my best friend, Dr. Wanda, on Friday, a psychologist, because we're all dealing with life stress. Everybody has life stuff going on. And then on top of this, and you said it too. You said it's really hard to forgive anyone who voted for this. I mean, it really, I know they're saying, oh, well, let's all unite now. I'm like, really? If you're for this, what's happening, then, I don't know what to say.
I mean, I think the thing that kind of crystallized that the most for me, which made it the most difficult to sort of make any sense of any of this and reconcile anybody's choices, was the pardoning of the January 6th terrorists. I mean, when that happened, we have friends, who were police officers who were there that day. When that happened, I was like, I can't forgive people who tell me, but it's, you can't lump us all into one category. It's like, but yeah. But I don't know. It's starting to feel like if you're okay with that, what aren't you okay with?
It's personal for a lot of us, Joe, for a lot of different reasons. But, you wrote as a rape survivor, the very thought of having a sexual abusing commander-in-chief and a sexual abusing secretary of defense makes me want to throw up, you know. But, go ahead.
I mean, just like to think about, first of all, what that dismisses in terms of what a survivor has to endure, but also what it emboldens in terms of what kind of behavior is okay. Like Donald Trump speaks in coded language sometimes, and the other day he was like, oh, you can't say a waitress is beautiful. I just want to be able to say a waitress is beautiful. That's not what he was really saying. If you look at his cabinet, right, what he really saying, look at him, is he wants to be able to grab him by the you-know-what again, because he said not once, more than once, that he believes as a star, you can do it. You can do anything you want. That's the kind of behavior he is trying to embolden and celebrate. And again, as a mother of both a daughter and a son, that is not the kind of behavior that I want them growing up believing is acceptable or something that they have to just embrace as a reality.
Yep. You said of all the weird ass sexual predator, con men, convict, idiot losers to break democracy, it had to be that malevolent, moronic, melted circus peanut, really? Our country threw it all away for that reality TV Nepo baby, orange dip, dumb. What a waste. The amount of F-bombs that you can drop in one post first of all, gives me life, but it's the only way to process all of this.
It is cathartic. Let's just say, and the spaces and places where I can just let them fly, I do as much as humanly possible.
But the gaslighting, it really, you said it kind of funny. MAGA wants us to get over January 6th and look forward, not back, when they haven't gotten over the Civil War. Not to mention they just started another January 6th committee. So don't tell us you don't want to look back. You want to look back and rewrite history about January 6th.
Exactly that. It is, and people often say it's hyperbolic to say this is Orwellian, but if they would just stop being Orwellian and doing Orwellian things, maybe we would stop saying it's Orwellian, because Orwell writes about books being rewritten. That is exactly what they're doing. It wasn't enough to just sort of whitewash and erase the reality of January 6th. They're creating a new reality. They are just like they've done now with COVID. The book bans that Republicans have had underway for many, many years. Now they're saying that was a hoax. It is truly the gaslighting of America, and we have to stay, really steady and really clear-eyed on what's happening, because it's a lot. It's a lot at one time.
Well, yeah. And what we do is, it's interesting. You said Donald Trump is daring us to stop him. He's daring the courts and Congress to stop him. If they don't stop him now, they never will be able to. Congress, stand up, do your jobs. I'm calling my pro-Ukraine Republican representative now. I mean, that was part of the effery just in the last couple of days, him saying it was Zelensky's fault. The Ukraine war. I mean, it's just, he's trying to rewrite every part of history. And it's,
oh, yeah.
But go ahead.
I mean, it's like slut shaming Ukraine now. Well, maybe if you hadn't worn that short skirt of freedom and democracy all over the place.
That's what we said. Tight skirt and it bent over the jukebox. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Asking for it.
Totally asking for it.
I mean, if some barbarian broke into your house and they're like, we're just going to take your kitchen and 2 of your bathrooms and you have to play nice. And then, some guy was like, well, they are offering one of your nicer bathrooms back. Like, you're not going to make a deal with them? What are you talking about? They're just going to take up residence in most of your house.
Yeah.
Seems like a fair deal to me. Yeah. I thought he was going to fix this on day 1, by the way. Didn't he say he was going to end the war on day 1?
Yeah. 24 hours. Wow. Yeah, you said Peace doesn't want us talking about how expensive the eggs we can't get are going to be, so we might as well hand Europe to Putin on a silver platter. I mean, it's all happening, Joe. He's what was the phrase he used? We're just going to clean up Gaza just to send them all somewhere else.
Yeah.
What did we say?
Egypt said, we're not taking them.
What did we say? He's going to let Netanyahu flatten Gaza. He's going to give Ukraine to Putin, essentially. I mean, and here we are.
And he, you can say whatever you want about the guy, but he is doing what he said he was going to do. Absolutely. All the evil that he said he was going to do. And we were all going, by the way, guys, look, this evil, remember this evil? Project 2025 his executive orders were rife with Project 2025, exactly what he's doing to Gaza, exactly what he's doing to Ukraine, exactly what he's doing to, our freedoms and January 6th. I mean, all of it is underway. And by the way, the eggs are more expensive if you can even get them. Gas is more expensive. What's the upside? What is the Trump voter getting right now, other than like made for TV cops deportations and like the red meat salaciousness of watching children crying for their parents? Like, what are they actually getting?
And this is going to be his whole foreign policy, Joe, just bullying and threatening for it, like Colombia. It's like, here we go with the tariffs. And then, now they're like saying, oh, they caved. It's like, we are just, I can't even imagine what this looks like around the world, what we're doing, right? I mean, first of all, we pay tariffs. The tariffs are not a threat against other countries. First of all, they're going to retaliate, but the American taxpayer is going to pay tariffs. It's not a foreign policy.
And again, it's like, they're like, well, we're going to get the Panama Canal. Okay, genius. Okay, please explain to me what that actually means and what we've yielded somehow in not having control of the Panama Canal that is going to make up for the fact that he's not doing anything about prices. We don't even have a functioning FDA, CDC, NIH. We're going to get rid of FEMA. I think he saw everything with more than 3 letters and he was like, get rid of it. Honest to God, it's like, because that was as much as he could read. And like, what is the trade-off? We're going to make Canada a state? Really? Is that going to work? We're just going to like
Canada with like a word.
On Greenland, he just said, I think we're going to have it. I think the people want to be with us. No. He said of Canada. Canada's a country that should be a U.S. state. They'll get much better health care. They'll get better health care? Really?
Yeah. Canadians are like, no way.
Oh, no way.
I don't think so.
Hey, hoser, no. Okay. Anyway, they're not going to.
We can't lower the price of eggs with what we have, and you're telling me that you were going to just take more stuff. Why? So you can have more stuff? I mean, did Steve Martin teach us nothing in The Jerk? He's going to trade it all in for a thermos anyway.
But this part, Gaza, we'll just clean out that whole thing. And my friend Greg said, for the Genocide Joe voters who couldn't be bothered to vote for Harris because of the administration's policy on Gaza, I want to point out the Biden administration negotiated a peace. Trump wants the Gazans gone from Gaza, which we warned you about this, right?
It is so hard. It is so hard not to be like, I told you so all the time, all day.
Oh, Frangela lives at the top of I told you so, Martin. They will stay there.
And you know what? Like, as an Arab American, this is a really tough one for me because I got destroyed. Well, they tried to destroy me on a regular basis for saying I supported Joe Biden's presidency and I supported Kamala Harris's, candidacy because of genocide in Gaza. And I'm not dismissing what has happened in Gaza, and it is absolutely an atrocity, one that is attributable to Benjamin Netanyahu primarily. But I kept saying this very thing. What do you think the Muslim ban guy who is buddies with Netanyahu is going to do that is going to be better? Please tell me. And they couldn't, and they wouldn't. What they just kept saying was, I can't vote for either of them. Well, a vote for neither is a vote for Trump. And here you are.
And Netanyahu.
And I begged you.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. I just finished, I'm going to say, an 11 billion mile bike ride. And thank God I happen to have this magic potion with me, ASEA, as seen on the Stephanie Miller Show. It helps my cells communicate better so that I can heal faster from overdoing because I'm lying about my age. I also use it on my face.